Hey there, my name is TJ, and this is my report for Module 2, Spiritual Intention, in the One Dao Teacher Training Program. So, what is spiritual intention or the power of intention? Well, as described in Module 1, it is most simply put as the first component of the Nim Tao state, or at least that's the first one and one of the fundamental bases that we build from in this, our particular lineage of Wing Chun. So in reference to the Silnam Tao, which translates to small thought, Silnam Tao is well known as the intention form, which is a clue that the Silnam Tao form is not based merely off physicality, but is primarily based within the mind. The idea that the Silnam Tao form is based on intention can pretty much be broken up into three areas of intention. The first one being one's highest intention, also referred to by some as the spiritual intention. I also consider the concept to encompass the idea that it could be someone's deepest intention, the intention that comes from the deepest place of one's heart and soul. The second area of intention can be expressed as potentially life's intentions, what hopes, goals, and aspirations you would want for your ideal life, and how one would likely manifest those hopes, goals, and aspirations in their physical forms. And thirdly, the concept of intention would be what might be categorized as martial intentions, or intentions that are aligned with one's physical and martial training and mastery. So, though there may be elements of contemplating and the concepts of considering within intention, intention is actually set apart from the concepts of contemplation. As internal artists, martial artists, we do aim to enter a state of contemplation, almost consistently. Similar to meditation, which is the dedicated practice of intentionally spending time with your mind, often through focused attention or attuned mindfulness. And though contemplative meditation can be something that is practiced more ritualistically on a daily basis, it can also simply become a way of life as you pass through the moments of your day. The term stoicism comes to mind as a concept of constantly, deeply contemplating our actions and happenstance that occurs around us constantly. As such, intention is more congruent with the concept of aligning ourselves with the living energy that surrounds us, that binds us and exists throughout the entire universe and potentially all dimensions. This energy is also known in many different cultures as chi, prana, or if you're a fan of science fiction, potentially concepts like the Force in Star Wars. In our Wing Chun lineage specifically, we simply refer to it as the Nim Tao state. When we search deeply within ourselves and begin to attune our frequency to what we truly intend for our soul, our life, and or our physical relationships within this world, we come to a level of peaceful power that transcends most barriers and allows us to manifest our highest potential within our spiritual life, our intellectual life, our emotional life, our personal health, our well-being, also within our romantic relationships, our friendships, our parenting relationships, not to mention our careers and our financial lives. Ultimately, we end up landing on what types of environments and lifestyles we deeply envision in order to live out a fulfilling and balanced existence. As Sifu would say, when you align yourself with the power of intention as opposed to aligning yourself with desire to use force for a certain outcome, you start to realize what's in the way, and things tend to manifest much more simply and smoothly. Finally, in the quest to attune to the frequency of our highest intention, we are ultimately looking to become forceless. So what is forcelessness? It's our body releasing the matter, literally releasing what's the matter and entering into ethereal space by raising our level of consciousness and emotion. It has now been theoretically proven that the higher your level of emotion and consciousness, the less dense your actual physical body is. In essence, we go from more physical matter to more energy, less solid particle, and more of a frequency wave. Again, quoting Sifu Kogan, when realizing we want to choose to become forceless, we want to not only manifest our mastery through our Kung Fu or powerfully through the mind, but we also choose to uplift ourselves both spiritually and emotionally. This impersonally sets our highest intention to become the primary directive in our Kung Fu lineage and training. So how do we practice this raised highest intention in our lineage of Wing Chun? Well, the standard and the baseline foundation for practicing this is within our standing Sil Nam Tao state meditations. Why do we meditate standing? Well, we don't really practice Kung Fu much sitting down, so I think that's really in line with kind of the idea, the concept, and being able to attribute the energetic pathways through a physical standing platform. Though we are allowed, and Sifu often lets us sit or lay down, I prefer the standing meditation. It just seems to intune me much quicker and easier with the concepts of the energy flowing through me in kind of actual time and actual space. So within the standing meditation, we first align ourselves with our highest intention, then we raise our emotion, get a happy sense of joy, feeling, levity, something in a higher frequency that feels good. And then we attribute that to our highest intention. Afterwards, we refocus and bring our awareness down to our center, aligning ourselves and raising energy through our center line, which is in many different cultures known as the central meridian, also known as the Sushumna in Vedic terms. We rise energy through this central meridian and allow it to extend past the crown of our head. Once past there, we allow it to kind of fountain off and come back down, washing over us, washing through us, since it's energy as well. And once we have that sense of sinking, once that sense of washing down and washing away, then we bring up the concepts of emotions and begin to wash away emotions that are either negatively charged or just not conducive to our overall well-being. Once we've washed a considerable amount of the emotions away, then we attune ourselves a little bit to the fluctuations of our mind. And begin to wash away fluctuations of our mind, thought patterns that as well are not conducive to our overall symbiosis and balance. Sometimes it's even good to wash away thought processes that maybe are good or neutral, just to get the wave function and the thought processes out of our minds so that we can actually coincide with our energy level and our ethereal bodies a little bit more deeply and immerse with that. Once we've sunk and washed away emotions and mental capability or mental fluctuations of the mind, then we reattune once again with our central meridian and our risen center. And then we begin to spread that energy, brightening that energy and spreading it through our entire physical body, every cell and molecule in our physical body. But that might not even be the boundary. Many times we actually expand that energy even outwards past our physical body into our ethereal aura that surrounds us and kind of encapsulates us in our own energetic and ethereal ambrosia, so to speak. The more we connect that energy with the energies that surround us, the more we start to actually meld and immerse ourselves and become the energy that is surrounding us, AI or AKA the state, the energy, the force, the chi, the prana. Once we have fully balanced ourselves and kind of immersed ourselves and melded with this energy, then we begin to take this energy and funnel it through our central meridian, focusing it forward to what Sifu calls a vertical power plane, a representative energetic mirror of what our central meridian or Sushumna would be, placed out in front of us, allowing our energy to flow focused and forward, which of course is one of the deepest fundamental concepts of Wing Chun, is focusing our energy forward. So once we do that, once we have a simultaneous rising of energy, sinking of energy, emotions, and mental energy, expanding energy throughout and kind of encapsulating ourselves in state energy, and then funneling and focusing our energy and our power forward. Then we breathe deeply, relaxed and calmly, and thus we have now become the state or entered into the state. So that is, the power of how to connect with our highest intention, connecting with our highest heightened emotions, and really attuning to that frequency and allowing that frequency to attune to the rest of the universe as well. One of the more powerful concepts of our lineage as well is after we do our state meditation and adapt the meditation and the state conceptualization of our highest intention into our forms, then we come back and we actually go through observations and look at it from different subjective points of view, listening to other people's points of view, and thus kind of gaining ulterior perspectives as well as internal ideas of karma, dharma, all sorts of different things that one might not consider that you may want to adapt to your highest intention. There may be things that are, are unbeknownst to you that you may want to add to your intention or clarify your intention just a little bit more, a little tweak here, a little tweak there. The important thing is that as you change, your intention may change as well. So not so hard to stick to the idea that this is my intention so intensely, but also, allowing your intention to change as you change as a martial artist and a human being. So bringing it back to what the intention is, particularly as a concept within teaching. As teachers, we can enhance the sharing of our personal observations within our training by introducing a training tool of conceptual relativity as a baseline for understanding while moving with intention. So using certain comparisons, basically, what is, conceptual relativity? It's just using comparisons to aid and assist our students' understanding of how to move with and apply to their highest intentions. Some examples of this could be using, the idea of highlighting them using blatant muscular force to propel a movement and noticing, helping them notice the amount of effort required within the organism on a physical level against the opponent or the goal. Then flipping the script and highlighting how someone's highest intention within and having them feel that and project that, or directing that intention directly into the opponent or the focused goal, and then bringing them back to awareness and sensing the noticing of significantly reduced effort and actually increased power. So reduced effort due to probably increased power. Another option could be applying movements or form with a negative emotion or thought pattern, seeing how that affects the system and your power overall, as opposed to bringing up a good feeling and a thought pattern within yourself while directing your momentum or directing your energy towards an opponent or goal. Concepts like applying movement with self-imposed biases, judgments, positionalities, instead of approaching the same objectives with an open heart and an open mind. And even abstract notions such as identifying with physical time and space, concepts of, physics that become less overwhelming boundary when replaced with the energetic power of truly envisioning one's mental time and mental space and perceptual physics. Regardless, all of these relative comparisons utilize the same principle of incorporating your specific intention into the equation as a mode of current frequency and power instead of a mere desire for a particularly set outcome. So, in summary, when we become the state and meld with that realm of universal power, chi, prana, or the force, our intention is concentrated on what we are doing in that moment. For example, if we're working on becoming the Nim Tao state, and we're going to focus on centering and sensing and seeing and syncing in the center and in the front line in front of us as we do, so our intention and attention are resting on that focus. So our intention is that our attention is focused on that objective. And of course, something else that you can always bring into the training is surrender and letting go, so that your intention and attention are focused solely on centering to the center line, and then really just surrendering and letting go of everything else that's not conducive within that objective. So overall, within the Nim Tao state are the tools to cultivate what Chun San Tin described as the power of a highly focused mind. But of course, it's obviously much more than just the mind at work here. The power of a highly focused mind is also energy, emotions, and our body. Discovering and attuning with these highest intentions are the ways that we tap into all of these simultaneously and thus truly transform ourselves into the Nim Tao state. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in Module 3. Thanks.